Oh my God, I don't even remember. I think it's 10 years ago. Just this idea about talking about intelligence. But I was not intelligent enough at the time, so it takes me 10 years to write just one draft. But I want to play with that. I met a couple of scientists, and I was amazed by what they tells me. It was just about the cancer, about the cells, the fact that we have, hundreds of billions of cells who communicate just together, like 1,000 signal per second per cell. The web is nothing compared to that. She's just a simple girl, and she's gonna became the most ultimate knowledge on the universe. So I like to play with, you look stupid, you're intelligent, what's the, you can become one or the other. It was very interesting and very playful to play with that. So it starts with lots of conversation with big scientists. 12 of them were Nobel Peace Prize, and they are all of them in the ICM, the Institute for the Research about the Brain in Paris. It's a very beautiful center. And I work with these guys to make them talk. So I was fascinated, and I take all their information, and some of them you can make a film with it. Some of them you can't. But I was just trying to find my food, I'm obliged to have a professor in a film because I have to tell what's true. So everything he said is 90% is real fact. And that's where the balance became to be very interesting, because you have her, which is purely entertainment. It's a film. But the other half is true. And it's, if you mix the two half, if you mix it fast enough, you don't know what's true, what's not. And so I need this professor because he's the authority of the film and who makes it possible. And it's also very interesting to see how a professor will react to something that he always imagined, but he never seen. Morgan Freeman is just the ultimate professor for two reasons. The first, he's totally convinced about the theory because he's very aware of it. I didn't know before we met for the film, but he's really aware of it. He is excited about it. So it was a pleasure for him just to talk about it. And the second thing, he's such a good actor that everything he said, you believe it. I'm fascinated by Chong Min-sik. He's one of the greatest actor I met. He's a superstar in Asia, in Korea, Japan, and all this. I think it's probably DiCaprio multiplied by Tom Cruise. He's really huge over there, and he's adorable. He's the sweetest, so he's not a villain at all. She read the script. The way she talked the first time about the script, I was enjoyed because she really understand the purpose of the story and all this, and she was excited about for the real reason, which is the story. So at this moment, for me, it was done. It was her for sure. I always have the desire for this film to start to another place, and Asia was perfect. When you watch the film, you understand. Then you can have a villain who doesn't understand anything. You can, for lots of reasons, it was good. So the choice after was there's a couple of towns. Taipei was one of the 3 or 4, cities. And but the funny thing is, on the script, I always put Taipei. because I have a souvenir. I went for the Fifth Element in promotion, and I have a souvenir of the town 20 years ago, and I love the town, the feeling, the people, and I was staying in an hotel which I like. So I give that as a reference at the beginning, and then the productions, because you always want to see, how much it costs. Is it more expensive here or not? Okay, so there's a couple of cities. And the funny thing is, at the end, we end up to Taipei in the hotel that I knew 20 years ago. Because, I find nothing better than the thing that I have in my head at the 20 years before. I want the people to travel. I want the people to do like, whoa, where are we going? and just to follow the ride. It's a ride. If you accept the ride, if you refuse and say, oh, okay, hold on, is it possible that this or this, then you're on the side of the film. But if you let yourself go in a ride and then you want to enjoy it, you're gonna have a pretty amazing ride.